You know, these days it seems like we can't go a single day without a big major film director or somebody else really big and well known who works at Hollywood trolling fans because of the fact that those fans don't like the road that they may be taking a franchise down, or maybe a film that they directed or something like that. The latest of all of these major film directors and people like that that work at Hollywood is the director of Thor 4 or Thor Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi. Marvel's Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi took to Twitter to troll fans who don't like what they are seeing and hearing concerning the upcoming Thor film. This user here said, "It is due to your Marvel work that this mess is possible. Your writing ruined Thor, his mythos and his character. So no, I do not want to see this film if we are truly getting a Jane Foster Thor." And Taika Waititi responded saying, "I'll ruin your mythos in a minute, baby." Now, if you ask me, that's his way of saying that he doesn't care about what the fans may have wanted or what fans may have been expecting regarding this film. He replied to another Twitter user right here by the name of Kevin, who said that Taika Waititi ruined Thor Ragnarok for me. There was too much comedy, let's hope he doesn't do the same with Love and Thunder. Waititi replied saying, "Sorry in advance, sucker." Again, ultimately just being, if you ask me, pretty unprofessional. Another Twitter user right here said, "I am so depressed about this, there isn't a single announcement regarding this movie that I have liked." Waititi replied saying, there, you'll get over it when you realise you don't know what you want until I give it to you." In other words, I'm getting the impression from this guy that he is really full of himself and he thinks he really is on top of everyone else because of the fact that he is a major Hollywood film director. But again, he's not the first of these Hollywood directors to act like this towards fans. And it's also like he's not really being that offensive. Yeah, he could have worded it potentially a little bit better or something like that, and I'm not going to act like all of these fans, you could say, are probably the most polite of people. But that isn't to say that there aren't any legitimate criticisms towards this film, towards Thor Love and Thunder or the other film he directed, Thor Ragnarok. And I believe that's the main concern here. Any kind of criticism towards him or his films, he's just going to dismiss off, he's just going to throw insults at them, and ultimately just be really unprofessional. That is the main problem I see here. Now, I did give my overall thoughts on Thor Love and Thunder in one of my recent videos. Now, with Natalie Portman, who played Jane Foster in the original Thor 1 and 2, she was the love interest of Thor in those two films. Now, what I initially said was, even though I've not read the comics or anything like that, so I'm not particularly 100% on this, so I could be wrong, was that when I first heard that she was going to be a female Thor, suddenly out of nowhere to come back and be the female equivalent of Thor, now what I initially said was, it would kind of be, it feels like the equivalent of Lois Lane just becoming Supergirl. It just doesn't make much sense to me. But like I said, I could be wrong on it. But the main problem I have here is it seems to be a bit of an ongoing trend, especially with film directors and major people who work at Hollywood, who seem to be, you could consider, rather full of themselves, think that they're above everyone else, just overall really self-centered individuals. This isn't the first time that we have seen a film director act like this. Another great example that is well known is the director of Star Wars The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, who resorted to anyone who disliked The Last Jedi as man-babies and other names like that. Even though many of the things that those fans, I'm not going to act like all of them were polite or civil, but there were a lot of them that were, had legitimate criticisms about Star Wars The Last Jedi, but instead, again, they were all just dismissed off as man-babies, trolls, incels, whatever other names they want to call us. Generally people who think that their work is perfect when it just isn't. Overall, film is subjective. You should be allowed to dislike it. And it's the same right here with Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. Yeah, I personally liked Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was a good film, probably the best Thor out of all the three Thors we've had so far. And maybe this Thor Love and Thunder film that we have right here may also be a decent film. We don't know yet. I believe we need to wait on more information about it. But ultimately, talking about this director and how he's responded to fans of his upcoming film, I believe that he has been rather unprofessional about it, and you get the impression that he's quite cocky and quite self-centered and full of himself. Overall, people, what are your opinions on this? What are your opinions on the upcoming Thor film? What are your opinions on the Thor director's responses to fans who have had criticisms towards his upcoming film? Be sure to let us know what you think about this film down below.